Philadelphia Eagles are 2-0 and the Chicago Bears are 0-2. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment Monday Night Football as the Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Chicago Bears 29-14. And man, I felt it in my heart before the game. I was this close to making a video on this channel proclaiming that I'm changing my pick from the Chicago Bears to the Philadelphia Eagles, because after last night's upset in the Minnesota Vikings defeating the Green Bay Packers, I felt that I just felt in my heart that the Eagles are just going to go on the road and going to beat the Chicago Bears, and they're going to, I just didn't see another upset happening this week, and I should have stuck to my guns, and I was right, as the Philadelphia Eagles won this game 29-14, and, I've been on the record, I think the Bears are a decent team. Before the season, way before the season, in July, okay? This was July. I thought they were a playoff team. In August, once I saw them in preseason and all that, I backed off of that. I said, they're not a playoff team, but they're an 8-8 team. And you know what? I'm going to stick by that. Because even though they lost this game 29-14 to a Philadelphia Eagles team that I think was going to be very good at all heading into this season, there are still some things here that I like. And, let's get into that for a second. I think that the Bears defense right now is really good. They gave up 29 points today, but Carson Wentz held under 200 yards. The rushing game for the Philadelphia Eagles was almost non-existent. The big problem today for the Bears, I thought, was turnovers, and specifically Jay Cutler, who once again had a meltdown in the second half, ended up leaving the game, and it really costing the Chicago Bears the football game. We've seen this story before, but I still think the Bears' defense is still really strong right now. Jerome Freeman is playing well. Danny Trevathan, Bryce Callahan's playing well in the slot. Tracy Porter has been actually playing well as their number one cornerback. They're waiting to get Kyle Fuller back. They're waiting to get Pernell McPhee back. And when they do, I still think this is going to be a top 10 defense. The problem is offensively, man, they have issues. Offensive coordinator Dowell Loggins, man, his scheme, his offensive philosophy is just not vibing, just not gelling with this football team right now, completely limiting this football team. They spent a lot of money on the offensive side of the football. Jay Cutler, Bobby Massey, they just re-signed Kyle Long, they signed Josh Sitton, they have Alshon Jeffrey, who's on a big one-year deal, hoping to get an extension. There's a lot of money. They even expended a first-round pick on Kevin White. A lot of talent offensively, and they're just not putting up enough points. 14 points for 2 straight weeks. That's just not going to cut it in today's NFL. And Jay Cutler, the guy, once again, was Jay Cutler. He was decent, had a big play, had a big arm play, showed his arm strength, but man, turnovers. This guy still doesn't know how to tuck the ball, keep it high and tight, and fumble the ball in the pocket. It was absolutely awful, to be quite honest with you. And then his interception was worse. Threw the ball right to Nigel Bradham, I believe, and I don't know how he didn't see him. Some people question Jay Cutler and his mentality, saying that he doesn't care. I think he cares. And I saw that today. I see the fire. When the Bears were doing nothing against the Texans last week, he was pissed. I could see that. He was yelling at Kevin White, telling him to get out of bounds, or that was supposed to be an out route. That wasn't supposed to be an in route. I can see the passion and fire from this guy. I just think that his face, he has like a resting bitch face, if you've ever heard that term. He's just a guy that doesn't look like he cares, but I think that he cares, and I see that from him. He didn't look to be quite happy when he ended up getting injured and having to leave the game. So the Bears, to me, they're still decent. Remember, this is a team that started out 0-3 last year. Go look at any mock draft after week 3. They were number 1 in every mock draft. Everyone thought the Bears were the worst team in the league after week 3, after they lost 26-0 to the Seattle Seahawks. Ended up winning, going 6-7 to end the season. I can see something similar here. Now, next week they have to go to Dallas, and I don't love that at all. I think Dallas is tough. I think Dallas might win that game, but from there, the Bears still get to go up against the Lions, the Sam Bradford Vikings, the Tennessee Titans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts. They could upset the Packers again. I still think there are plenty of wins on this Bears schedule, and their team They just have to fix their offensive woes and issues right now, because I think that is what is limiting this team. They cannot be turning the ball over. They have to be better at putting points on the board, not just relying on these big plays to move the ball down the field. So with that said, let's get into the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is a team that is better than I thought they'd be, to be quite honest with you. Now, I love the draft pick of Carson Wentz. I said it when they drafted him. I give them an A- for that pick. Only reason it wasn't an A, just because I thought they gave up a little bit too much, but turns out, no, because they gave up the perfect amount. Hell, they could have given up more and still gotten away with it. Carson Wentz looks absolutely phenomenal. Yes, he only had 190 passing yards today. Yes, he only had one passing touchdown, but the guy looks like an NFL veteran. Did you see this guy forming this offense, directing the offense, being the captain of this Philadelphia Eagles ship, telling wide receivers where to go? He's leading the team. He looks like the 10-year veteran. He looks like Drew Brees. He looks like Aaron Rodgers. He looks like Tom Brady out here directing this offense. He looks like the veteran. Like, you see Nelson Aguilar and Dorial Green Beckham and Jordan Matthews making mistakes and not doing what they're supposed to do, and Carson Wentz bringing these guys and saying, no, guys, this is what you're going to do. You do that, you do that. Changing plays, knowing audibles, everything. This guy is so good, so smart, so intelligent early on. The guy's fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal. Man, the LA Rams, the Cleveland Browns, they are going to regret the day they passed up on this guy. And I loved him. I didn't love him. Okay, I liked him as a prospect. I thought he was going to be a guy like Joe Flacco, in that range where he's a franchise quarterback. I didn't know if he could be a top 10 quarterback. I saw that potential today. He looked really good today, Carson Wentz. And if I can see more of this, and he still hasn't thrown an interception, he will throw them. But as of this moment, he still hasn't thrown an interception. You got to love what you're seeing from Carson Wentz right now. The guy looks absolutely phenomenal. The Eagles defense looked really good. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Connor Barwin, they're making plays. Well, Barwin didn't have a sack today, but I still saw some flash from him. So I like the Eagles defense right now. Rodney McLeod, they're playing really well. Nigel Bradham, they're playing really well defensively. However, offensively, I still have my concerns. Despite my love for Carson Wentz, and I think the offensive line is playing really well as well, the running game is non-existent. Ryan Matthews not doing anything. Wendell Smallwood finally healthy, but not really showing me much of anything. And the wide receivers are having issues. Jordan Matthews dropped a wide open touchdown today. Dorial Green Beckham had 2 catches in the first quarter, did nothing after that. They have a guy named Trey Burton who is coming out and doing a lot of stuff for them. Don't love that. I think they need to be doing a little more in terms of running the football, and I need to see more plays from the wide receivers. Carson Wentz is still a rookie, okay? And he needs to rely on the wide receivers to make plays for him. I'm not really seeing that right now. So I think the Eagles still have some issues, but they're decent, okay? And I think that's something that is so clear. Doug Peterson has turned this team, and they were decent last year, but, he's turned this team around to a team that, plays defense, and they have a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes, and that's a pretty good formula right there. And some believe right now they can win the NFC East. I don't think so, only because of this. I think right now, man, the New York Giants look really good, and you can't deny that. I mean, right now, okay, I think they have a better defense than you, and then they have the veteran quarterback. They have a better wide receivers. They're just better, okay? They're just better. However, if you want to talk about the Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys, we can have a discussion. If you want to talk about the Eagles versus the Washington Redskins, we can have a discussion. There is a discussion to be had right now. The Philadelphia Eagles are the second best team in the NFC East, and that is a conversation I didn't think we'd be having before the season. So I have to commend the Eagles on that. They look really good right now. However, a small letdown could be coming as the schedule gets a little bit tougher moving forward. They have to go up against the Pittsburgh Steelers next week. And the Steelers not only look like the best team in the AFC, they currently look like the best team in the NFL. So look out for that. They also have to go to Detroit after that, to Washington after that, host the Vikings, and then go to Dallas. So we're about to find out a lot about this Philadelphia Eagles team. They could lose all of these games. They could win all of these games. I mean, probably not, but they could. So we're about to find out a lot. Let's remain cautiously optimistic, but you have to love that you got a quarterback. Y'all have your quarterback. This quarterback is set. I'm seeing 10 to 15 years from this guy. He looks so good. Still has some inaccurate throws, okay? I talked about that in his preseason game. I thought when he moves around too much, I don't like it. I think when he really stays in the pocket, he's looking, he's a guy that really likes to have stable feet, doesn't really have to move his feet when he's in the pocket, looking, throwing. I think he's great. When he starts moving around, throwing on the run, he can be accurate on the run, don't get me wrong, but I feel like that's when his value kind of diminishes. When he's in that pocket and he's working, man, Carson Wentz is something special, man. Especially when he's throwing the deep ball. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's always on point. Carson Wentz, I'm starting to fall in love with you, man. Jesus Christ. I'm seeing everything I saw at North Dakota State. No transition required. Carson Wentz, you get a thumbs up from me today. So what were your guys' thoughts on this Monday Night Football game? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and most importantly to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out.